Welcome back to RevKev RC. Welcome back, everybody, one and all. And if you're new here, welcome. Water is quite comfortable, and we like to talk about RCs around here. And today, we're going to do an unboxing. This looks familiar, probably to many of us. And if you've watched my channel for any length of time, they make a 12th scale version of this. Go MJX makes that. It is identical to this. And I said in that video series at some point, kind of early on, that I was going to be getting the big one. And here it is. It showed up. Now, looking at the box, a fairly large box, some scratches on them from sitting on my concrete garage floor. Some interesting things right away. I will tell you, very, very nice box art. They spared no expense in the presentation of this thing. Also, it's 1/8 scale, so this is bigger than your 1/10. The box is, if you couldn't tell, it's somewhat evidence of that. In fact, it's probably going to be about that size, maybe a little bit smaller. This one is brushless. It's got FOC, and it's going to have their version of it, and it's going to have Angry Snail Bluetooth app connectivity. We'll see if we can get that to work in this video, depending on how long it takes to unbox this thing. So I'm just going to tilt you forward here. Before I do that, let me point out, we got the official scratchy noise seal of approval from Ford. So this is a licensed Ford Bronco R of the real truck. Let's tilt you forward. What do we got on the front? We got our motor and speed controller information here. Field oriented control, censored brushless, 2000 kV, which is significantly lower than the 12 scale version. That one's like 33 or 3500 kV, but it's a single speed. This one's a 2-speed. 80 amp brushless ESC. None of this is, I don't know. I suspect because everything is in some way Hobbywing that these are probably Hobbywing, but I don't know. We'll see. 35 kilogram servo. This is probably just a rebranded, kind of cheap one, but we're going to see. See a metal steering servo. Like, what's metal on here? Like the case. All right, so we got aluminum. Let's see, 35 kg at 6 volts, upside down. So maybe we can bump that up. And let me just apologize right now. I've gotten sniffles. The weather is kind of doing me dirty. Whenever the weather starts changing from hot to cold, and then you get two different versions of the same place, my sinuses act up. All right, we've got some tires. These are identical to the 12 scale. We got our 1.8 millimeter polycarbonate body shell. It's going to be hard, fairly heavy. And we've got our aluminum beams. These are going to be aluminum, and they're going to be stamped, almost certainly. We'll check. We'll throw a magnet on there, see what's what. It's rotator. Rotator. Let's see. Nope, that won't do it. That's not good either. Let's have to pick it up. We've got our remote. This is all, I don't know who makes this. This doesn't look like Dumbo. It doesn't really look like Fly Sky. So this is kind of a mystery radio. If you know anything about what you're looking at here, let me know. I'm curious to know. So if I had to hazard a guess, I would probably say Fly Sky. All right, we got our 8-channel receiver, an 8-channel, there it is, 8-channel transmitter, and My vacuum hose is fighting me over there. And our 8-channel receiver right here. And here is the app right here. So we've got drag brake adjustment, voltage, throttle punch, B, C. Yeah, this all looks a lot like a Hobbywing thing, but you know, all crawlers who have programmable ESCs are going to have something in this realm of capability. So, you know, I'm not ready to commit that this is Hobbywing. All right, that's just got more box art. All right. The other side here, we got aluminum axle housings. Looks like all metal gears, sealed bearings. Oh, metal front and rear bridge. Their language stuff is so funny. But these are axle housings, and they are portal and oil-filled shocks. It looks like maybe a plastic, but we'll see. They are adjustable with our collars, and they're oil-filled. But you can see we've got an all-metal drivetrain throughout. The spur gear is probably plastic because most of the time they are. All right, back to the front. Now, in moving this, I saw something interesting on the bottom. I usually look at the bottom, but the bottom had something interesting. Of course, it's upside down. Okay, this is going to give us our measurements here. This is all in millimeters, so do what you want with that. I don't actually care that much. If you care about stuff like this is not going to be a competition crawler. This is more like, and people had a problem with the, I don't know. I'm not going to say people had a problem with the 12 scale. They just didn't know where it belonged. Like they were trying to shoehorn it in. Is it a crawler, or is it a basho, or is it this, or is it that? It's like, first of all, everybody calm down. It's a toy. That's what it is, number one. After that, it's whatever you want to do with it. Like, this thing has FOC. It's got lockable and unlockable diffs, and it's a 2-speed. It has all of the accoutrements and the niceties of a lot of our modern crawlers available on the market. But looking at the geometry, the bumper, and then the rear, you know, it's not going to perform like something else on my channel, like the Capra or that Coyote that I'm building. And we'll probably have a new video by the time you see this of that thing doing stuff. You know, it isn't that. It is what it is, and you need to be, and that's kind of what I'm doing here, but you need to be informed on what it is this is. There are not a lot of videos out there about this, and one of the reasons is, right, where'd it go? For sale in mainland China only. Well, I don't speak Cantonese or any other dialects of the languages over there. I think it's Cantonese. If anybody wants to correct me, go ahead. But I got this off of Ali Epress. Like I do so many RCs that I really enjoy because, number one, you can't get it over here unless you do that. Maybe Alibaba, but I think they're actually the same company. I won't get into that, but I've seen some things as far as like how packing lists are displayed when you buy stuff and then whose name is on what. Sometimes I see them interchangeably for AliExpress purchases. But in any case, AliExpress gives me a more warm and fuzzy than Alibaba. So that's who I've been going with. And every time I've gotten what I ordered and it's been in good shape. So on that note, this did come in more packaging, but I removed it. It was a whole other box. It's over there. So actually, my wife's using it right now as a arts and crafts backer. She's making something, and she needs to not mess up the counters. So she broke that box down, and she's using it. Anyway, got on a tangent. This is a toy. I got it from Ali Epress. I suspect sooner or later, hopefully sooner than later, you can buy this on Amazon because, like a lot of the things I've gotten off of Ali Epress, they have eventually appeared on Amazon for sale, like the JK07 Pro. That's a channel favorite. I have a lot of people who like that RC. And now if you search it on Amazon, maybe not currently right now, but up to 2 weeks ago, I was browsing, like you do, and I saw a JK07 Pro for sale on there. Now, the price was not as good as you can get it if you want to go AliExpress and wait 3 weeks, a month, something like that. So use that information for what you will. But I suspect that sooner or later, probably sooner, this will be available on Amazon and local places. But I thought that was interesting. And again, we have the official licensed product here, 2024 Ford Motor Company, which is interesting. It's like, is that when they gave him permission, or is that how long this has been out over there? But this thing looks like it's going to be really cool. Me, as a lover of scale things, and I just really think this thing is cool. I do not expect it to perform like a Coyote or any other performance-oriented specific RC crawler. And that tape. I did say in the recent past that when we do unboxings, especially an official one like this, I was going to show you a different knife. And so I got one. It's a belt knife. The sheath is on my belt. So this is a Kaiser. They actually make, put it in frame. They actually make pretty good knives. No, I don't walk around at work with this, but it's for the video, and I am a knife guy, but I'm at home. This is called the Harpoon. This is actually a really cool knife. Good value. You can get this in different kinds of steel and different handles, but this is going to be our unboxing knife today. As soon as I can hunt down the tape. It's somewhere around here. Oh, there's some. Got him. Oh, there's some on the end. I have to assume there's some on the other end. Yeah, look at all the scratches from pushing it around on my floor. I need a bigger garage. Can't tell if I'm cutting anything. Oh, there it is. All right, let me put this thing away. And I'm bleeding all over camera. All right. Which way is up? I think that was the bottom, right? Yeah. That's the front. These are real bare. Oh, okay. Okay, that's not too bad. Just don't have the room to do this. So let's try that. How about that? My camera mount is actually a mountain bike work stand bolted to my toolbox. Now that packing, that's good stuff. So far, this packing is extremely nice. It's extremely good. We got styrofoam on both ends. Like to see that. Plastic. Get a little first peek at the truck itself. That's nice. How can I Oh, okay. Just pull this down or pull that. Here we go. All right. Unboxings is hard when you don't have enough room and you have a lot of RCs. What? That just fall off? Oh, the end fell off. Interesting. That's okay. That's how they did it. I was wondering how they got this thing packed in this very peculiar, very, very good way. All right, so we got our transmitter. Very, very nicely packed. Got a little goodie bag. Nothing else in that. Okay, we got a little basic tool here. As per usual, we got us a Phillips. Probably going to be like the... no, there's no screw hole. You don't need the Phillips for that. So I wonder what they give you the Phillips for. Maybe just for fun. Yes, this is the... hopefully it's an extra, and there's one in the car right now, but that's to secure the hinged front end of the body. There's magnets, but that actually keeps it locked down. Some spare rod ends like that. 2, 4, 6 spare ends. That's very cool. Like to get spare parts. There's our transmitter. Unnecessarily large. Comfy. That's good reach for me. My hands are large. We have a on-off slide switch. I like that. We got a fairly good sized lanyard hole that will it'll take a typical sized clip or some cord. Got some nicely labeled switches. Channel 5. That's going to be our front locker. All right, so the F is front. Unlock. Channel 4 is your high and low. It's in low. Channel 6 is your rear locker. See the R? And that's unlocked. And then we have our normal trims. Throttle. Okay, throttle side. So direction and plus or minus throttle. And then your steering. Direction and your left and right trim. Your reversing for either. And then you've got channel 7 and 8. Channel 7 has an arrow on the top and the bottom, just like the smaller one, the 12th scale, the H8P. And then we've got a channel 8 here. And then this. It's not labeled, so well, we'll see if we can figure out what the heck that does. Transmitter is okay. The trigger finger space is actually pretty nice. It feels just fine. I kind of think my finger bumps into this right here, this edge, but it's okay. Not a problem if I'm two-hand driving, but if I'm trying to one-hand, it kind of, I don't know. You probably get used to it. Let me put this aside. Get some room. Very big transmitter, though. Get off me. All this tape. All right. See if we can get this box to... All right. This might have to pull this thing out. We've got some kind of a manual Looks like maybe some decals in there. Pretty nice. It's nicely packed. That was just down here chilling. All right, it's not tied to anything. It's completely wrapped in plastic. I'm gonna move the truck aside and we're gonna see if there's anything else in here. I don't think so, but we are required to do it because we are unboxing. They had this nice thing right here that it was sitting on, so it was not sitting on the tires for however long it's been in this container. And there's nothing in there. That's just a nice little... Heck, I might keep this until I can find a way to store it, because it keeps it off its wheels. And you can take it apart if you need to. Or maybe just keep that part. Yeah, just keep that part. I like that. Let's move this out of the way so we can get the truck up here. Oh. Heat. Whew. Okay. All right. Cool, we're in frame. Nice padding. Some precautions. In order to make the RC car have better simulation and drop resistance, it causes some edges of the shell and body to be very sharp. It's pretty decent English. Please be careful when taking out the product or opening the car shell to avoid scratches. 14 years or older. So I think what they're talking about is don't cut yourself, because this is hard plastic, and if you get to scraping up this stuff right here on the rocks and things, it could eventually taper it down into a sharp enough edge. I'm guessing. The picture doesn't actually... Oh. The picture doesn't actually... It just kind of points at the fender flares. So, all right. Here's our access point for this bag. Nicely tucked in. So, we have a very, very well packaged, nicely padded, and with some water resistance if this were to get leaked on in the box. There's a little hole right there, but not bad. And these are almost certainly waterproof. I guess I might as well just rip it. I'm not going to keep this. Just what I thought. Beautiful. I knew it would be. What do you think about that? Oh, is that a hair? Well, that's fun. That made it a long way. A person packed this up. It's pretty big. It is pretty big. Where's my tape? Now, this is a little bit of a guesstimation. Holding it back here, roughly in line with the cage furthest point to the bumper shackles. That is about 27.5 inches long. It's pretty wide, or long, but also, yeah, it's pretty wide too. Looking at track width of right at 11.5 inches. Is that not gorgeous? Is that not beautiful? Look at it. Would you just look at it? I mean, tires are vented like we already knew they would be. Rubber feels pretty good. These look really familiar. Full-size spare, also vented. Now, some people's critique of this is that it doesn't make for a good crawler. And that's okay, because they gave it a crawler chassis with a U4 Baja style, Baja capability based vehicle, which is great because this thing, if you look at other videos, I don't know of anybody else who has one of these in America and also speaks English. There's a couple of people on YouTube that make videos, but they never talk. So this they give you all of the cool whiz bang tricks of a crawler with 2-speed FOC 2000 kV lock-in diffs in a extraordinarily attractive form factor that is beautiful and scale to the real thing, because that's a real thing on this planet. These exist. Come on now. That is very nice looking. All right, so under here, from watching videos, I know that there's, yeah, and it's there. Just twist it. And take a look at the aluminum housings, these thick steering link. Oh, and it's got a servo saver style steering link. Let's see. Is that called a drag link? I never remember the terminology, but it looks like, yeah, that's a functioning servo saver. You can see the rod moving. I'm going to give that a chance. And if I hate it, there might be a way to adjust it, or just go in there and lock all that stuff out, make it look like it works, but then just make it where it doesn't work. We'll see. If it has decent steering, because it is meant to go fast. It is meant to kind of mob through things. So perhaps a servo saver isn't the worst idea, because as many have said and are right, this is not a technical high performance crawler. So let me just unscrew that. That's what I was originally going to look for. If you're just going to run this like a crawler and do light things on the trail, you probably don't need this. Very much like the 12th scale, the magnets on here, from what I've heard, are very good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Like, you can pick it up, but you don't shake it. But if you were crawling and doing trail stuff and not doing a whole lot of jumping and rolling and crashing, I don't think you'll need to use this portion, but they give you one, and they give you the extra one in the bag. And link ends. So this does hinge basically exactly like the 12 scale. It let's see, how does it stop? It stops on itself. This is not the exact same mechanism, but we shouldn't expect it to be just a larger version. It actually stops on this. The cage hits this thing, which is fine. So nothing actually has to hit the ground. The body, this spoiler thing doesn't touch the ground. The tire doesn't. This, I I don't know, it's not a bumper. Rear cage plaque doesn't have to touch the ground. This just rotates and, or this rotates and touches this bottom piece here. Just kind of looking at this, I do want to point out, like, as a crawler, to slide over things, when you come over things right here, it's just going to hit this and then make a very nice transition off and slip and slide. So I think that's just fine. The front bumper, yeah, you're going to get hung up. It's got decent approach. You know, this isn't a Jeep. This is a scale replica of a vehicle that really exists out in the world. So for that, I think they've done a very, very good job. It is quite delightful to me how similar this is to the 12 scale. Now, I would bring it on camera, but it's in some pieces right now because it needs a little work. Yeah, but we'll talk about that whenever it's time. But go back and watch the videos on that thing that I currently have up. In fact, I may have the video up talking about why it isn't in this video, and that might be the repair video. So who knows? I gotta film stuff when I have a chance, and I don't put everything out as soon as I do it because that would be crazy, and there would never be anything new ever. All right. Some important difference on the 12 scale. The battery is back here. On this one, it's way up front, and it's a pretty good size. It's a pretty good size. The only thing that's going to limit you is the length, which this is a fairly standard length. If I grab this is like my litmus test for battery size. That'll fit in there just fine. And as long as it is no higher than this pad, it should fit height-wise. And this, once it goes down to the tray, should be just fine. Now, might as well just look and see. Because if this battery goes on here, and I don't even know if it just says 80 amp. I don't know if it's 3S or 4S or what it is. I suspect it might be just 3S, but we'll see. So that does sit down quite nicely. This reaches over here, no problem. We'll just kind of set this over like that and see if the battery compartment or the lid closes. I'm not getting that snap of the magnets, so maybe it doesn't. Perhaps I need to strap it down. You know, stop playing pretend and just do it. So I don't want this on top because if it's already pushing, being potentially too tall, we want to have that buckle part either down here or back here or wherever you want to do it. It seems to me, and I will likely change it, I would swap the orientation around so the buckle's out here so that we can manipulate it easier, which is basically just like the 12 scale version. We swapped it around. Okay. That is as secure as that's going to get. That battery is just too tall. Those do not reach. So we need to be selective about what battery we stick in here. I have other options. This is my tallest type of battery. A 3S soft pack is going to be probably an 1/8 inch shorter than this, and I got one over there on the charger just for this. Let's see. That's a 2S. What else? All right, so we've got this is my camera mount, by the way. This is a bicycle clamp, and my camera mount, my camera tripod thingy is clamped in there. Okay, really nothing groundbreaking here. This is going to be our two-speed shifter. 2-speed servo, front locker. See the cable running over there, and running right in there. Our rear diff locker, and our receiver, 8-channel receiver. According to the box, this is supposed to be an 80 amp ESC. Let's see if we can see a 3 or 4S rating anywhere on it. I don't see one. It's got a fan on it. That's cool. Perhaps what we want to know is in there. I'm gonna put the camera back in the mount and flip this thing over. We've got our, let's be extra gentle to it since it's never done anything. We'll put this down. And we'll have a look together at these components. So those look solid. They are some sort of hard. Those are actually good. Those are maybe aluminum. Yeah, sticks to the screw. Doesn't stick to that at all. Sticks to that. Doesn't stick to that. Does not stick to the frame at all. So that's going to be aluminum. Definitely ferrous. Or what's the word when something is magnetic? This is not on the 12th scale. If you've watched anything on Cross RC, their 8 scales, they all, the Emo X, and also another RC that I have almost certainly recently put on the channel that is abso-freaking-lutely awesome and enormous. It has this. This is like a sway bar, and if the internet is right, it's actually called a Watts link, and what it does is it is a sway bar, but it does not prevent articulation of your solid axle. So in my experience with these on the Cross RC, they actually work, and they're quite, it's kind of a brilliant idea, because a lot of times sway bars will remove articulation and crawling ability, but in this case, this seems to have added high speed stability and not get taken away from our low speed crawling. Excuse me. And with the magnet here, I can feel that the ends of these are, there's screws in there. So same thing here. Yeah, there's going to be a threaded screw that's, there's no head. There'll just be the threaded end here and the threaded end here, and it will likely screw into this, and then you'll screw that on. So very cool. These drive shafts, these look super beefy. They look very, very strong. This appears to be brass inside of the pins, the main ones. So I don't know, is that like a self-lubricating thing? Did they? I don't know. We'll see. I know on the 12 scale, this is all quite noisy if you don't lubricate it. It's quite noisy. Same thing up here. Big. That looks like brass right there. Curious to see how that fares for longevity. Now, I'm going to lube everything. And obviously, like I've said before, if you have metal components that are part of your drivetrain, you need to lube them, especially if you run them in water or in or, you know, you hose them off to clean them. So that's a pretty good. This looks good. I think this looks really good. And if it's anywhere near as durable as the 12 scale, this thing is going to be an absolute rock star in that aspect. If it performs even remotely good, I will be very happy with it. Pretty good landing. It's got a nice cush. Sits a little higher in the front, but once we put a battery in it, that should level it out. And if it doesn't, we have, and I suspected these were plastic, and they are, but they are adjustable, and everything is all the way up for as little height as possible. So we can always adjust these as we see fit. So if I put a battery here and I find that the front still sits a little bit high for my taste in appearance, then I'll just raise it back a little bit. What else? Both the front and the rear, like body support towers, are padded. That's nice. The body itself is caged. The wiring is nicely kept. This is going to be your light controller in here. Some screws to gain access if you need to. And I forgot to talk about this on the 12 scale, but it is evident and present on here. Basically, every screw on here is the big, what is this? 2.5. Everything's a 2.5. There's only a handful of the 2s and the 1.5s. It's like even that. Oh, nope. That's a 1.5. But this has no reason to be a 2.5, and it is. So that's a complaint that a lot of, not a lot. There's a particular a handful of YouTubers that get a little bit annoyed when fasteners are small or there's a high mixture of different sized fasteners. But on the 12 scale and this one, just having a quick glance over it, most of this is 2.5, which you're far less likely to strip out. And that's nice. That is always a nice little feature. Let's see, what else am I observing here? I don't think a whole lot. I think all we have left to do now, because it's been 43 minutes, is to put a battery in it. You know what? Stay with me. Let's see what kind of battery I need to put in it. Perhaps it's in this thing that kind of looks like instructions. Well, what's an unboxing without looking to see what kind of literature you get? And maybe the decals are in here that are, maybe they're super cool. Man, that's pretty stout. They look like decals. Yeah, oh yeah, those are decals. Now I'll put that into a resealable bag. Bring y'all back out. Okay, we got scanning things. Probably choose a language once you do that. We got some, I don't know if these are replaceable or just additional. We got our numbers. That's cool. They're like a silver, I think, unless they're actually white, but because the backer is translucent. This is neat. Oh, I gotta put the little Ford right there. Or does it go right here? There's one over here. But this is oh, okay. That's a replacement. Yeah. That's a replacement. So they give a replacement stickers. I wonder, let's put it in frame. Yeah. That. Yep. And that will be that. And that is that. So that is super cool. All right. And here's why. Man, you got to check out Go MJX. The body, polycarbonate, right? This will scratch, but the color itself won't, because it's in here, right? Or it's been molded that way. I'm not going to scratch it to find out. But when you scratch this, it's not scratching the paint, just like every other RC for the most part. So they give you decals to replace these, because those are not paint. So when you damage these, they give you new ones that you can stick on here. Now I think these are for the hood area, and these are for the side. Something like that. But that's really cool. So if you beat up the truck too much, you can just take the decals off and put on new ones. Now, something else that probably nobody does, but you can do it, and I might actually do it to the little one, because that one's been beat up pretty good. Because this is fairly thick and because it's polycarbonate, you can remove the scratches out of it with a headlight restoration kit, and make it brand new and shiny again. I've done it before. I did it to my SCX6 Honcho. It's up here. When the roof got super mangled, and I used a headlight restoration kit, and I brought it back to brand new, out of the box shine. So you can do that with this kind of body, something hard. And so if they give you the decals, you could strip the bad ones off, refinish it, and then put on your replacement set and bring this thing back to dang near new out of the box. All right, let me get into a good spot here so we can have story time. Oh no. Oh no. Please let there be English somewhere. Maybe it's one of those where it's all like, maybe it's channel 2 to 3S LiPo. Okay, so 3S is our max, according to this, which is fine. Some of the, okay, here we got our ESC parameter. Changing. There's not a whole lot of English in here, but you do it all with the app. See, we got English right here. So this is telling us parameters 1 through 14, and then this is giving us a name. It doesn't give you any explanation in English what any of it is, but oh, I like that smart drag brake. I love that feature. Your drag brake is set at, it's determined by the speed that you're going. So the truck won't slam on full drag brake if you're going full speed. It will ramp it down, just like I talked about with the little one, except that one wasn't programmable. At least maybe it was, and I just never did it. But that's cool. Maybe if we go further, we'll get English. There's a lot. Max brake force, punch, BEC voltage. Of course, we're going to make sure that's at 7.4 because reasons. Okay, here's our channel 3, mystery channel. Channel 3. Oh, it's pointed at channel 3, but 4, 5, 6, and 5. Questions abound. we're going to press it and see what happens. All right. BVD is probably bind. GPS. Interesting. I don't know what VCC is. We got our lights. We already know what those do. It's going to have a forward, or it's going to have brake lights, reverse lights. Shouldn't be any turn signals. All right, we got some parts. Okay, this is fairly rudimentary parts breakdown, but it's there. Probably the internet will help. For people like me, if this breaks, and I'll fix it and I'll make a video. That might fix your problem. Okay, that's all cool. Yep, we got shocks, we got all that stuff. What we don't have is any extensive English. So, except for the front, which is kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Everything after this is in Chinese. All right. I'm going to go find some batteries, put it in the remote, and put one of my batteries in there and make sure it works. And I'm going to call it my RC phone, because I have a separate phone so I can run apps for RC specifically. And I'm going to download the Angry Snail app on there, and we're going to try to connect it and see what it does. Don't you go anywhere. Okay, so I'm back. I've been gone for about 15 minutes trying to get this figured out. So, my old phone will not connect to this. I think it's just too old and the Bluetooth technology is outdated. So, can't do that, which means I can't actually show you programming the thing on video because I'm recording with my phone, which is the thing you are looking through right now. However, once I pulled up the app on my functional phone and got this thing on, it connected really quickly, and it was actually quite easy to do, with one exception. For whatever reason, let's just pretend that this is my phone screen, right? On the app, the save option is way down here. So you adjust all your parameters, and the save option is way down here at the bottom of the screen, which happens to be right underneath the home screen function for how my phone is set up. So like over here is the app switching thing. That's the home button. And then over here is the back button. Something like that. I'm looking at it right now. Yep, that's what it is. App switching, home, and back. So I couldn't select save after I changed the parameters because it was under another phone control. So I had to go into my phone menu and tell it to not show me the navigation down here and make it some other dumb thing. And then go back to the app, program it, close the app, go in, and change everything so then I could use my phone again like I've been used to, because I don't feel like relearning something to use an app once or twice. Any case, that was the only real headache. That's an app thing, compatibility with my phone, but it's all good. I didn't change much because I want to see how it is kind of out of the box. I did change the punch. I think it was like 11 options for the punch, and I think it was at 7, so I went up to 11 because duh. And then for the drag brake and the maximum brake and all that stuff, I left it as it is because I need to know a reference point to go from. So I want to see what the default, what the default is as it comes before I go in and do it again, because I have to play that same game. I changed the BEC. It was at 6 volts. I changed it to 7.4, and the servo seems, let me back it up and not run into the, no, it was already at 50% for the reverse. I left it there, but the servo seems to be considerably faster than it was before. And the mysterious channel 3 is our lights. It looks just like the little one. These are, of course, our diff switches. They are in the open position. I like that they have it green. Like, you know, red is locked. I like that. That's a very quick, easy thing to look at. These don't do anything that I can detect. Everything, yeah, the steering is pretty good. I think that's decent throw as well. A little bit better to the right. But that seems to be how it kind of goes with these servo on axles, because one that I recently did, and I already forgot what it is, it was better to the, so I said right, I meant left, my right. You know what I mean. It's better that way. Yeah, there's more throw that way. But in the current state of how this remote has been tuned, it's very, very, very smooth. Let's see, what can I crawl over? Let me just give you a quick demo of how slow it's in low gear right now. How slow the FOC and the brushless low speed. Quiet too. This is very reminiscent of a particular brand that I'm thinking of, kind of like a Hobby Wing. Nice and quiet. Good control. I suspect it will crawl right up my hand with FOC. Yep. No problem. And just like the Cross RC, the diffs, I don't have the screw in it. The diff unlock is very, very, very smooth. Give you a little demo. There's no chatter coming from the diffs. They're very nicely. That's first gear, by the way. The diffs are very nicely tuned. Let's put it in high gear. That's the high gear in 3S. This thing is going to absolutely boogie. Like, oh my goodness. All right, so that's open, low gear, extremely smooth and quiet. Let's lock that's the front. Let's lock the rear. I would have liked those to have been the other way around. It just seems natural to me. That would be I would make that the front, but, you know, it's all good. So the rear is locked. Let's see if that's the case. Yep. That rear is locked. And whatever, I think this is drag brake level 7 out of maybe 10 or 11. It could go up a little bit further, but this seems pretty. I'm pushing harder than it weighs, so that is likely plenty. But the locker appears to be engaged just fine. Let's unlock it. See if it has a clean disengage. There it goes. Took it a second. Perhaps it does better when all of them are on the ground. Lock it. Yep, it's locked. Put it back down. Now we'll unlock it. Drive it for a sec and see if it unlocked. And it did. Okay. So perhaps it actually just needs this to have movement in it for it to do it. Let's lock the front. Front locked. Man, this thing is silky smooth. Yep, front did indeed lock. Let's unlock it. Wait, that's the rear. I'm going to mess that up until who knows. Let's see if the front will disengage off the ground. I'm messing up my own test. Okay. Front is... Okay, yeah, front's locked. Unlock. Give it a roll. Give it a test. Unlocked. So that seems to work really well. And that is extremely smooth. Like very, very, very smooth. And let's see, we'll cycle. We got our cool modes. There's like a delay. It's like the distance from the lights. Oh, it's like it caught up. It's kind of like turn signals. You and the car in front of you. Sometimes they're in sync, and then after a couple of in sync blinks, it comes out of sync. But that's all good. We got our strobe show, and this should be another type of strobe. Yeah, that's just like the other one. Let's have a look at the rear. Well, before we do that, this is what I wanted to show was how quiet and nice it is under here. And we have opposite rotation drive shafts, center drive shafts. And if I didn't mention it before, this is portal. Lock it up. All right, that's locked. Let's use our throttle trim and just get it moving so we can engage with it a little bit. Locked. 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 Unlock them. Unlocked. Unlocked. Very nice. I cannot be mad at that. It works well. And I might do a separate video about this, but these kinds of things are an argument to not change out remotes, especially if you have something that works well. Like, there's no way to program a neutral into this. Maybe if you put it on something else with a different receiver, you could, like I've done on several others with my Dumbo DDF 350. But with a remote like this, you basically can use the throttle trim as a cruise control. We all kind of know that. Now with the DDF 350, you can't intervene and add throttle. But with this style of remote and the dial, you can. So you could do a very scale slow crawl with the speed that you set it at, and then as you need it, you can bump the throttle to get over something, and then it'll go right back to the scale speed that you had your throttle trim set at. The DDF 350, so far as I can tell, you can't do that. Once you engage throttle or cruise control, which is an actual mode in the remote, the trigger throttle is disabled. It bricks it. So that's pretty neat. Tell you what we'll do. This thing's let's see, diffs are open. It's in low gear. I'm gonna take you out of the thingy here and put this thing on the ground, and we'll. I'm gonna put this in it because this thing's kind of squirrely. I'm gonna really try not to crash it, but we're just gonna get it to run a little bit. And something I gotta admit, it took me a while to find the power button, but it's right there. And unlike Hobbywing, it does not light up and glow and blink, which I like. But it's in a pretty nice spot, so you don't have to always undo the body to be able to turn the thing on and off. But if you get one of these, I had to hold it. You have to hold this button down for like a solid 5 seconds almost to get the thing to turn off. So keep holding it down. You're not doing it wrong. All right, this is the first time this thing's been on the ground. Diffs are open. She's in low gear. We got turn some lights on. Listen to how quiet and smooth that is. All right, that's our factory drag brake rate. Reverse was pretty gentle. All right, that's actually, I like that rate. It doesn't slide, but it stops predictably. Yeah, I like that. So it trims off a little bit to the left. See if I can adjust it a little bit without dropping my phone. That is so quiet. So that was a pretty good adjustment. Turn circle is decent. That's full throttle on 3S in first gear. That's 50% reverse, full throttle, which is, I like, it's just fine. Decent punch. Oh yeah, almost did a wheelie. All right, let's put it in second gear. See what we get. Oh yeah, that is pretty dang quick for a crawler. I gotta tell you, for the electronics that come in this, it's just pretty good. And I think I paid, it was 5 something. But boy, you get a lot for that money. Let's hit that full speed and then let it off and see what the drag brake does. That's a really good predictable stop. I think the drag brake and the rate are actually dialed in pretty good. We get a good hard stop, but we don't flip the truck. Let's go back to first. Second. Yeah, that's good. I like it. I think that's really good. Let's see how slow we can crawl in second gear. Let's see if we got that Hobbywing-like ability. Yep. That's second gear. And I could go slower. Let me concentrate on my finger. Yeah. That is really, really good. This thing's awesome. This thing is super cool. This is going to be such a fun trail buddy. Oh, man. Such a fun, cool looking RC. Quiet too. Eerily quiet. They have done a very good job with the transmission and the gearing. All the gears are very quiet. I bet the grease in there is so good. Yeah. Let's bump this up. Let's hit her up a little bit. That is so cool. And I really do like, I don't know if you can tell, but that light bar sort of bounces off into the cabin, into the driver's area. So if you put some people in there, they're already going to be lit up. You'll be able to see them. That's a really cool effect. Oh yeah, the rear lights. Dang it. Totally forgot to show you that. Let's trim this back to neutral. All right. Yeah, just like the little one. We've got a flashing red backup, or like hazard type light, and a white backup light. Man, this thing is ready to go on some trails. Pretty good flex coming down the driveway. And I think the battery really did level out how it looks. The stance. Yeah. That looks good. Man, I am absolutely smitten with this thing. Servo is pretty good once we bumped up the voltage. It's pretty good. We'll see how it does when it gets in a bind. I may leave the Servo Saver link in there for a while, see how it does. But if it acts right on a trail, because this is not going to be something I'm going to try to like do anything crazy technical with. But you know what? It steers the truck with pretty good authority. And if that saver prevents me from breaking it and I still have fun with it, I don't think I need to change it. But I'm sure I can measure it, and then I probably have a link somewhere that's already the right length from all the RCs I've taken apart and whatnot. But that is awesome. Let me put the camera down. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is super cool. Okay. That is going to do it for the unboxing and the initial impressions of this thing. It's another long video, but I think that when you have something of this, the packing was extremely high quality. Packaging, rather. The bodywork is all very well done. The drivetrain appears to be extremely high quality, very, very nicely done. The lighting, the battery placement, the powering system they put in there, the app. You know, it's not their fault that their app won't work with my old phone, so I couldn't show you how to run it, but it's actually very easy. All you have to do is select a little circle arrow thing that tells you or asks you to like connect to an ESC, and it will do it whether the remote is on or not. So you can essentially program this thing on the fly as long as you're not using your phone to record videos. It's very, very easy, and maybe I'll send them a little message if possible. I don't know. It's Chinese, so they're, you know, take what you get, I guess. I don't know, but I sure hope these come available on Amazon and other local RC stores. I do know that you can buy this from RC Direct. No, Direct RC. You can buy this from Direct RC. And you can buy it from Bomb Toys, BOMETYTOYS. You can buy it from them too. They have it. So if I can find websites that carry this besides AliExpress, and I'll even try to find it on AliExpress where I got it, because it was a really good price. I'll put it in the video description, those links, if you guys want to find it. But initial impressions, I am absolutely blown away and extremely happy with how this thing came out of the box, and all of it. It's just very, very nice. And I didn't even look to see, but I think I would probably bet money that these are beadlocks. I didn't look, but the little one's beadlocks, and this thing's basically the same thing. Yep, I can feel the screw in there. So these are beadlocks, and they look like 2.2s to me. So this thing is just absolutely cooler than the underside of the pillow. This is incredibly nice and quiet. And I just want you to consider what you're paying for. If you're an American viewer, what you're paying for in the American market for what is available. There are so many good RC brands in the world that we just are not given access to in the traditional ways. So I just have to insist, another company just like Cross RC, MJX or Hypergo or whatever they are, I don't actually know which one is the parent company, or if it's just a branch of them, you know, kind of like Horizon Hobby and all the companies that they seem to own. But in any case, this thing has 1000% on initial impressions blown me away, and is every bit worth what I paid for it, especially when you get what you get with these things. But I'm just going to keep rambling and repeating myself if I let myself. So if you found value in this, if you have questions that I just forgot to answer, which is 1000% likely, say something in the comments. I really want to know what you think. And if I know the answer, I'll tell you. And if I don't know the answer, I'll try to find it for you and let you know otherwise. I do answer all the comments that I see. Sometimes I've think things have gotten past me, but please don't take it personally, because I really do try to answer everything that people say and ask and all that good stuff. So please give me the like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell. This is just going to keep going and going. And I appreciate everybody who has tagged along and supported me so far. So if you're still here watching, you're the greatest, and I appreciate it. And I'm going to see you in the next one.